All right, so this is just an update on future projects, and just to see if I can get some suggestions on which knife to make next. I'm kind of stuck between two, which I'll show you, and I'll talk about why I want to make those knives too later on. But just to get some stuff out of the way now, I did do a video on how to make a Kydex sheath, and I was supposed to make a second part, which is this wrap, how to do this wrap, and I'm working on just doing it a little bit differently, and once I do that, I'll post that. And then currently what I have now is I'm doing a corrosion test on my MagnaCut knife I made. And the reason for that is so I did do a corrosion test on just regular annealed MagnaCut, and I want to see if there's a difference between annealed MagnaCut and heat treated MagnaCut, just because the results I got for annealed MagnaCut were so weird in comparison to other people. So yeah, so that I should probably post it tomorrow. And then last, I'm not gonna do the review on the Cold Steel Atlas lock, and I do apologize for that because I did say I was gonna do it for I said it to like two people, but that was before the lock failed. Well, in my opinion, it failed. There's a lot of people that have commented that they don't see what happened as a failure, but well, to me, I see it as a failure, and it's not a knife that I would carry or use because of that. And I saw it as just as testing it and stuff like that for a month as just something superfluous, as not necessary, just because it wouldn't get to that point for me in terms of use. So hopefully that doesn't affect anybody, like or hopefully nobody was expecting that video too much. But all right. So just before I talk about these two designs, I just want to show you just the other designs that I will do in the future. So this one I've already shown it. This is for the K390. The only thing I'm waiting for this one is I'm waiting for a thicker piece of K390. So I have this, which is 0.087. And if I can get something around 0.16 inches, would be beautiful. So later on, hopefully I'll get something around that thickness, and I'll make this knife. And then besides that, this one is just wacky. So that's the reason I haven't done it, but it's something I might do in the future. Just wanted to show you just the design because it's kind of different. So what I love about the American Tanto is that functionality wise, it's super good at cutting when you cut things like at an arc, just because it has a secondary point. So you have the primary point that you can use for thrusting and stuff like that. You can also use saber grip and then bring it down so that you can use the primary point. But the secondary point on the Tanto, which would be, it would be straight if this was just a regular American Tanto. The secondary point works beautifully when you hit something at an arc, so that it concentrates the power of your swing, and then it does a lot more damage than a regular curved blade would. So what I thought was I would just concentrate that and just exaggerate that secondary point. So now instead I have a point here, a triangle, which instead of having a flat space here that would stop some of that damage being done, this would allow for a deeper cut. Basically, this would be also this would also have an edge. This would also be sharp. So it would be sharp on both sides, of course. And then another plus from this design would be that this is weighted a lot more, just because you have this big chunk here, so you have more weight in the front also of your swing. And you can see this is tapered a little bit, slightly tapered. And then this is, because of this curvature that curves up, it'd make it more likely that you would hit with this point when you're swinging. So yeah, but this is just funky. I do have the steel for this. The steel would be CPM 3V, and it is 0.21 thickness, 0.21 inches thick. So maybe later. It's just a little wonky, and it's something I probably wouldn't carry if I made it. That's the main reason that I haven't done it. So these are the two I need help with, just because they're so even in terms of what I would get out of it. I'll start with this one first. I was gonna do this design, but it turns out I don't have the steel for it. I need 2.5 inches. It has to be 2.5 inches wide, and I don't have it. I thought I did, but no. So this, you might recognize it if you've seen another knife I have that I made. I ended up burying it, and it was supposed to be the first corrosion-proof knife that I made, and it turned out to fail. I mean, it ended up failing until I figured out stuff and actually made a real, completely corrosion-proof knife. But it's the same exact design, except it doesn't have a hand guard. So I just wanted to make the design as strong as possible, and in my opinion, just the cutouts for a hand guard and the hand guard itself are just more failing points. This design is stronger, even though it's, in my opinion too, it's not as nice looking, just because it doesn't have that very classic nice look. But so the reason I want to redo this knife is because I want to make it, the steel would be CPM 3V again. It would be a 1/8 inch piece of steel. It's a 2-inch wide, same as the other one. It's 2 inches wide, but the reason for that is I wanted to make like a fighting knife, or like a knife that has just enough of everything so that it functions as a fighting knife. And what I mean by that is, usually when you see fighting knives, they're really thick, and that adds to weight basically, and rigidity. So when you poke something, it has a rigidity behind it, and then the weight of the blade allows for better cuts just because of how thick it is. But to me, this design, it gives you enough. This is like a 9-inch blade. It gives you enough length of blade and forward heft that this would be, in my opinion, like super great for cutting. Tip wise, it's thin enough that it would poke very easily. It would get through a lot of material very easily. And you could also use the tip to basically cut very well also, just because of how acute it is. So design wise, I think it's very well done. That, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but testing the other one, the one I have, the original, I like it a lot. Let's put it that way. I like it a lot, and it feels that it would work very well with thinner materials. So I want to try with the 1/8 inch piece, and that would give me, I think, just it would work for everything, but it would also give me what I'm lacking in the other one. The other one's made out of Vanix, and it's thinner. It would give me toughness. So I think with 1/8 inch CPM 3V at 60 Rockwell hardness, I would have all the toughness I would possibly need in a fighting blade. So I'm pretty sure I would be able to baton with it and stuff like that, and it wouldn't break just because of how tough CPM 3V is. So that's the reason I want to try this design. This design would be done in LC200N. This is just something I want as something I could carry a little bit easier just because of size. This I could still carry it too. This is the same size as my Tanto blade I used to carry before, the one that has a cross on the handle. So this one though is just easier to carry. It's a 6-inch blade. I wanted something, so this is something that's very easy to poke with repeatedly. So 6-inch blade, much easier to just like repeatedly poke something, and just a lot easier to control. 6 inches is about, I think, useful for anything. I mean, it's not so shallow that it would be a problem for anything, any situation. Something like this, like a 9-inch blade, is a lot more harder to repeatedly penetrate something, and a lot more easier to give more leverage on something that can twist. Once they have more leverage on you, can twist your hand out of the grip. But maybe I'm overthinking it. But I just wanted to make something in that sort of sense. Something this width gives me a lot of options and edge. How thin I can make the edge, which I would either go with a flat grind for this design or a full convex, which I keep on doing. But I love those two particular grinds. Besides that, the handle on this, would be TerraTough, just because of the shape of it and stuff like that. I would need like the grippiest material I can use, even though it's ugly. But TerraTough is what I would use. It would go all the way to the top like this. It would probably have a pin here, just to keep this piece from snapping off. And also, it would be like this wide. It would be almost like a handguard too, but made out of TerraTough basically. And I don't know if you can notice this, but the handle itself, it's about 4 inches long, so not that big. And the thought behind that is, and I brought this as an example, is you can put something that size in your palm, and then now you have all that, your palm basically backing up all that the force, so you can have more force at whatever you're hitting. You have skeletal reinforcement, I guess, in whatever you're hitting. So I might have to taper this like this. So far in my mind, the thickest part of this handle would be the butt, but it's something I would have to work with. Another plus of going with this design is, since I'm going to use LT200N, I could finally get the whole corrosion tier list, galvanic corrosion tier list done basically. So I can actually do one more test of LT200N, which is what I need. I have the material already too. Same width, 2 inches, and the thickness on this is like 0.18 something. So it's thick. So I can finally finish that. So I would test it against Vanex, H1, MagnaCut, which MagnaCut doesn't seem like it should be in this test at all, from what I've seen. But regardless, so yeah, these are the two pluses. I'm getting different things, but I am getting something out of each design. So I'll be able to carry both of these if I want to. This one I would get like a fighting knife that would be super quick. I wouldn't be afraid of it snapping because of the material. And it should, I would be able to basically see if this design will handle as good as the other one does. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't, but I would have that confirmation. This one, I would have something I can carry a little bit easier, and then also it's something that would be more pokey orientated rather than pokey and slashing with this one. So yeah, so that's the reason I'm like in there with these two. So yeah, any suggestions would be appreciated. Also, if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, okay, bye.